the day is done. It is time now to let the noise of your world fade into silence. Find your most comfortable position, and for the next few moments, simply relax. Tonight's Odyssey is about to begin, but be warned. This is not a gentle story. This is Sparta. Tonight, you will not just learn about the most feared warriors of the ancient world, You will become one, from the brutal judgment at birth, through the crucible of the Agoge, to the final, glorious stand at Thermopylae. You will live the life of a Spartan. Whether you are here for a story to captivate your mind, or a grand narrative to accompany you to sleep, your journey starts now. If you enjoy these odysseys, subscribe, and join us every time we travel to the past. Now let us begin. The year is 510 BCE, and you have just taken your first breath in the ancient city-state of Sparta. Nestled in the valley of the Eurotas River, surrounded by the imposing peaks of Mount Tagat. But your life does not begin with celebration or joy. It begins with judgment. You are only hours old, still slick with the waters of birth, when rough hands lift you from your mother's exhausted embrace. She does not protest. She knows. The law knows that this moment was always coming. Her eyes follow you with a mixture of desperate hope and terrible resignation as you are carried from the darkened birthing chamber into the harsh light of day. The men who examine you are members of the Gerousia, the council of elders who govern Sparta alongside the two hereditary kings. These are men whose faces have been carved by decades of war, whose bodies bear the scars of countless battles, whose eyes have witnessed the rise and fall of generations of warriors. They have seen strong infants grow into weak men, and seemingly frail babies become legendary heroes. They trust nothing but what their experienced hands and eyes can verify. You are laid naked upon a cold stone table, in the public bathhouse, where the light is best and the judgment most severe. The eldest of the examiners, a man whose white beard flows like a river of snow down his bronze chest, begins his inspection. His fingers, gnarled but surprisingly gentle, probe your tiny limbs, testing for strength, checking for deformity. He examines your spine, running a practiced thumb down each vertebra, searching for any curve or weakness that might manifest in later years. Your skull is measured, your chest expansion observed as you cry. They listen to the quality of your wails, is there strength in them, or the wheeze of weak lungs? Behind these men, your father stands in rigid silence. He is a Spartiate, a full citizen warrior, and his bronze armor gleams in the afternoon sun, streaming through the high windows. His face betrays nothing, but you will learn years later that inside, his heart pounds like a war drum. He has already lost one son to this judgment, a boy whose left foot was twisted inward, deemed unfit for the phalanx. That child was taken to the Apatata, the place of rejection at the foot of Mount Tagatas, and left to die of exposure or be devoured by wild animals. Your father never speaks of him, but sometimes you will catch him staring at the mountain with eyes that seem to see through stone. The examination continues with methodical precision. They test your reflexes, watching how your tiny fists clench, how your legs kick. One elder drops a bronze disc near the table, creating a sharp, ringing sound. You startle and cry, loud and good. Your hearing is intact. They pass a torch flame near your eyes, not close enough to harm, but sufficient to test your vision as your pupils contract. Every response is noted, evaluated, weighed against the centuries of Spartan military tradition. Your mother waits in an adjacent room, and though the walls are thick, she can hear your cries. She sits with the other women who have recently given birth, some clutching healthy infants who have already passed judgment, others sitting in hollow-eyed silence, their arms empty, their children condemned. The waning is agony. She knows that if you fail this test, she will never hold you again. There will be no funeral, no burial rites. You will simply cease to exist in the eyes of Sparta, as if you had never drawn breath at all. The eldest examiner now performs the final and most crucial test. He lifts you high above his head, holding you suspended in the air as you wail and flail your limbs. He is checking your spirit, your will to fight, even in distress. A weak child might go limp, might surrender to fear, but you rage against the empty air, your tiny fists beating at nothing, your legs kicking with surprising force. The elder's weathered face cracks into what might almost be called a smile, the first and last time you will see such an expression from a member of the jury. He lowers you carefully and nods to his fellow examiners. They confer in low voices, using words you cannot yet understand but which seal your fate to rear. You have passed. Ju will li. Your father's shoulders relax almost imperceptibly, the only sign of his relief. He steps forward to receive you, wrapping your naked form in his red cloak, the same cloak that has seen him through 20 years of warfare, stained with the blood of Sparta's enemies, and perhaps a few drops of his own. This is your first swaddling, your first embrace by the state you will serve until death. As you are carried back to your mother, you pass another father leaving the bathhouse. His face is a mask of stone, but his eyes are those of a dead man. In his arms is a small, still bundle. He walks toward the mountain path that leads to the Apathatai. No one speaks to him. No one offers comfort. In Sparta, weakness is not mourned, it is eliminated. Your mother receives you with tears. She quickly blinks away. Spartans do not weep, not even in joy. She examines you herself, her hands trembling slightly as she traces the limbs that the elders have approved. She whispers your name for the first time. Like Agoge, after the legendary lawgiver who created the system that has just spared your life. It is a name heavy with expectation, a name that carries the weight of Spartan tradition. But even as she holds you, even as she offers you her breast for your first feeding as an accepted Spartan citizen, she knows the clock has begun ticking. She has 7 years just. 7 years to love you, before the state claims you forever. Every Spartan mother knows this bargain. They trade their children for the security of the state, their maternal love sacrificed on the altar of military supremacy. In other Greek cities, your birth would be celebrated with wine and song, with offerings to the gods for your health and prosperity. Here, there is only quiet acceptance. You have passed the first test, but it is merely the beginning. Every day of your life will be a test. Every moment an opportunity to prove your worth or reveal your weakness. That night, as you sleep,